Unit 6, Lesson 11, Traversals Practice. So in this lesson, you're going to have a chance to practice programming with a lot of the concepts and patterns that we have explored over the last two lessons. I want to encourage you to go through these with your neighbor, but pay close attention to what each other is doing because your neighbor might be getting something that you're not getting and vice versa. So in our next lesson, you're going to have to use a lot of these on an independent project, and these activities are good practice for what you will have to do in that project. So let's go. In this lesson, you're mostly going to practice what we've learned about programming with traversals. So unfortunately, I'm not in the classroom to help you, but whenever I return, I will be able to help you with what you need. I want to remind you first, however, to not forget about your debugging skills. Debugging, it's the process of finding and fixing problems in the code. Describe what the problem is. What do you expect your code to do? All right. What does it actually do? Does this always happen? And then hunt for the bugs. Talk to your partner. Sometimes bugs are literally just a missing semicolon or a word that is misspelled in one place, and you've looked at it so long that you cannot see it. Okay, everything looks the same to you. So having your partner look at it for a few seconds might fix the trick immediately. Okay, so please utilize your partner before you get to the point of frustration where you give up, all right? Hunt for the bugs. What did you change most recently? All right, did it start messing up after you made that change? That's why you want to test it as you go. Explain your code to someone else. All right, look for code related to the problem. All right, so if it's not doing what you expect it to do at a certain part, go to that part of the code. All right, document as you go. What did you learn? What strategies did you use? What questions do you have? And then try small changes. Okay. Don't forget about this option for debugging. Okay. We can use tools like the watch panel right here and the debug console, which are going to be very valuable. All right. This arrow right here, whenever you print a list, it will actually also give you the index number for that element. And don't forget that the last index value is length minus 1. So if we have an index of 6, our largest value is going to be 5. You can also add the list to the watcher panel to track the changes to the list as the app runs. The watcher also shows the length of the list, which might be very helpful for you. So let's go ahead and, oh, one more thing, the debugging with the data tab, okay? You can go look at your data, all right? Use the console log to make sure you're actually getting the information you want from your table. If you're not, you can go look at your data and make sure that you are pulling the correct information from the correct column, all of that kind of stuff, okay? So now let's navigate to Lesson 11, Level 1. I'm going to do the first one with you. The first 3 levels are Traversal Practice, okay? Levels 4 through 6 are Reduce and Filter Practice. And then level 7 is putting all of that together, and it is App Practice. Okay, so after we get done with this, don't forget to go and complete the check for understanding on Schoology. So let's get started. All right, we are lesson 11, level 1, okay? I like to go ahead and see whatever is available in this entire window. Okay, do this. This program traverses two parallel lists to print the price of each piece of fruit. There are two other parallel lists of students and what grade they're in. Read the code and run it to see how it works. Add code to the program to print the name and grade of the 5 students. Okay, creating and assigning lists. That's what we have done here. Traversing both lists to print the price of each fruit. All right, so notice var fruits, this is plural, okay? And whenever you highlight it, it shows up, it highlights the other places that it shows up at, okay? So this is plural, the list, and then the variable is singular, okay? So that's one thing to notice there. All right, so for var I equals 0, I is less than the length of the fruits list, which we know is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I plus plus. Fruit equals fruits I. Price equals prices I. Console.log fruit plus cost plus price. All right. Now, creating and assigning lists. All right, students is defined, but it's not called in your program. Grades is defined, but it's not called in your program. So we're going to want to kind of, I'm going to copy this, okay? Because we want it, we know this, well, let me undo that, okay? Because let's run it first. Okay, I'm going to slow it down. But we know, allegedly, that this works because all we're doing is running this code. So if it works, why would we not go ahead? All right, let's add the fruit to the watchers list. I mean the watchers. So now it's on peaches. Peaches cost $1.29. Okay. So evidence that this works. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Okay. So the code that does work, I'm copying that. Okay. It does not help. I'm going to go ahead and reset. It does not help to just copy and paste. All right. We have to change this. So students is going to be student. Price turns into grade. All right. So student, students, grade, grades, not fruits, students, not fruit, student, not price, grade. And we want it to say student is in, so not cost, but is in grade blank. All right, so now I'm going to delete that and I am going to clear this and I am going to put a watcher for student and grade. All right, now everything should be almost the same down here for this new portion of code. Hold on, traversing both lists to print the price of each fruit. That's not what we're doing here. The grade each student is in. Okay, we want to make sure that the comment is still valid. Okay, so let's see how that goes. It's gonna go through all of our fruits first. Angelo is in grade 11. Abel is in grade 12. Amelia is in grade 10. Abel is in grade 12. Darian is in grade 10. Ellie is in grade 9. All right. So that worked out. I hope this helps. And remember, you can always come back to these levels to look at the code that you wrote and see how it worked for you. Okay. This is going to be similar to the previous one because the first 3 levels, remember, we were just doing traversals practice. So on level 4, let's look at that real quick. Level 4, you're going to filter a list of students to keep only those with more than 6 letters in their name. All right, now whenever I was talking about, resources, help and tips. Okay, list, filter, pattern, list, reduce, pattern. We went over those real fast in the lesson 10 video. So you may not remember that, but you have access to this entire presentation on Schoology. So please go back and look at that. But you also have access to these right here. Okay, so you don't technically even have to go back to look at those, all right? This is going to help you, all right, because it gives you the code for that pattern to get the list reduced average and the list reduced smallest. So please feel free to use those resources. All right, and then you also have this video, processing lists with loops. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. I won't be able to help you immediately, so somebody in class will be able to help you better than I can at that moment. But whenever you're finished, move on to the next lesson to make your project.